this is not a new story and a new strategy in terms of splitting these companies.
Henry does everything he can, really, to stay a black powder company.
The goal here simply being they're going to make DuPont a strictly industrial company, the new Dumont.
He desperately tried to get Henry to switch from manufacturing black powder to manufacturing dynamite.
In the records of American history, there exists a class of families whose wealth seems to exceed time itself. They are the custodians of fortunes built over centuries, whose names echo through the halls of power and influence. From the golden age to the digital era, these families have weathered storms of economic confusion and societal change, emerging unscathed, their coffers overflowing with riches amassed over generations. But what sets these families apart? And is it their insightful business intelligence, or perhaps a stroke of luck that seems to have favored them for centuries? Join us as we delve into the revered halls of power, tracing the lineage of dynasties whose names are synonymous with wealth and privilege. Number 5, the DuPont dynasty. The DuPont family, with a staggering net worth of $181 billion, sits proudly at the top of our list of America's wealthiest old money families. Now you might have caught wind of them already, especially if you hail from the East Coast. With around $8.1 billion snugly settled in their coffers as of 2024, they're not your run-of-the-mill rich clan. They're practically an American institution deeply rooted in the country's history. So began the early 19th century, and along came Eleuthère Irénée Dupont, a French chemist with a keen eye for improvement. Faced with the subpar and overpriced gunpowder in his new home, he had a light bulb moment. Setting up shop in 1802 by the picturesque Brandywine River near Wilmington, Delaware, he launched a gunpowder mill that proved to be a jackpot, especially during the War of 1812, when demand for top-notch gunpowder skyrocketed among Americans. But the DuPonts weren't content with just making waves in the gunpowder game. They were determined to conquer American industry, and boy, did they ever. As the 19th century melted into the 20th, they didn't waste a second branching out faster than a fairy tale family tree. From dynamite to the booming automotive industry, they had their fingers in every pie, ensuring that the cash kept flowing in. And that stake in General Motors, it wasn't just a savvy investment, it was a loud declaration that DuPont weren't just dabbling in the high-stakes world of American enterprise, they were here to stay. Their empire didn't just spread wide, it spread deep across all sorts of sectors with the finesse of seasoned tycoons. But here's where the story takes a twist. Behind the glittering facade of this illustrious dynasty lies a tale filled with shadows and eyebrow-raising controversies, legal battles, environmental issues, and family dramas that could rival the juiciest soap operas. The DuPont saga has it all. Take, for instance, their environmental track record. The DuPonts haven't always had smooth sailing, especially when it comes to their chemical ventures. Sometimes their industrial endeavors have left a not-so-great mark on our dear Mother Earth. From facing pollution lawsuits to unsettling revelations about the health impacts of Teflon production, they've had their fair share of clashes with environmental and health advocates. These clashes have sparked heated debates and legal battles, shining a spotlight on the darker side of their industrial empire. One particularly glaring chapter in the DuPont family's history revolves around John Eller DuPont, an heir to the family fortune. In a tragic twist of fate, tinged with mental illness and the isolating effects of extreme wealth, John DuPont committed a shocking act. He murdered Olympic wrestler Dave Schultz in 1996. This chilling incident was later portrayed in the gripping film Foxcatcher, shedding light on the shadows lurking beneath the surface of immense wealth and the mental health struggles that can accompany it. Yet, despite these storms, the DuPonts have managed to hold onto their wealth and status, as we venture into the 21st century. Though not without its complexities and challenges, their vast wealth and influence have propelled them forward, from Eleuthère-Irénée's pioneering gunpowder mill to a portfolio that reads like a who's who of American business. They've not just survived, they've thrived. They've kept the family fortune not only intact but flourishing. But wait, there's more to DuPont than just raking in the cash. They've got a softer side too, you know. They've dipped their toes into philanthropy and have even opened up their former estates to the public, turning them into charming museums, gardens, and parks. Places like Winthrop Neor and Ellen Mills aren't just tourist traps. They're living tributes to the family's green thumbs and their dedication to preserving both cultural and environmental legacies. Now, the DuPonts have never been ones to throw all their eggs into one basket. From owning the iconic Stratford Hotel to having stakes in General Motors, they've dabbled in everything from coal and iron to explosives, courtesy of the Hercules Powder Company. Number 4, the Hearst family. The Hearst family is worth more than a stunning $28 billion. In the late 19th century, George Hearst, a man with a nose for Earth's hidden treasures. His story is like something out of a Hollywood blockbuster, with roots tracing back to the gold fever days of the 1850s and 60s. George struck gold, quite literally, with the Comstock lode in Nevada during the height of the gold rush. But that was just the beginning. His golden touch led him to another fortune with the Homestake Mine in South Dakota in 1877. Now, this wasn't your run-of-the-mill mine. It was the mother lode, the holy grail of gold mines in North America. And just like that, the Hearst name was etched into the annals of American wealth. But wait, there's more. The plot thickens with the introduction of George's son, William Randolph Hearst, who inherited his father's fiery spirit. William Hearst took the family fortune to incredible heights. Imagine a young William seizing control of the San Francisco Examiner in 1887, a newspaper his father won in a poker game. That's how the Hearst rolled. He turned it into the cornerstone of what would become a media empire. Then he set his sights higher, grabbing the New York Journal in 1895, pushing Hearst into the media stratosphere. Under William's keen eye, the Hearst Corporation grew into a media juggernaut, snatching up newspapers, magazines, and even film studios. Their portfolio boasted big names like Cosmopolitan and Harper's Bazaar. But here's where the Hearsts really showed their strategic genius. When William Randolph Hearst passed away in 1951, his will wasn't just a legal document, it was a masterpiece. He created a trust to professionally manage the family's wealth instead of dividing it among his heirs. It wasn't just about keeping the money within the family, it was about ensuring the Hearst legacy would live on. The trust would only dissolve once his grandchildren had all passed away. And so, the Hearst family's fortune has not only endured, but thrived, navigating through 5 generations of changing times. Beyond the headlines, the Hearst descendants have ventured into realms as diverse as real estate and B2B ventures, creating a financial fortress that seems almost impenetrable. With William Randolph Hearst III, the great-grandson of the dynasty's founder, at the helm as chairman, the Hearst Corporation remains a titan in the shadows. The Hearst family's influence stretches far beyond just the media. They own hefty shares in giants like A and E networks and ESPN, partnering with the Walt Disney Company in a dazzling dance of collaboration. These stakes aren't just numbers on a page, they're like golden geese laying platinum eggs, fueling the Hearst empire's wealth. But the Hearsts aren't content with just the media. Their venture capital arm, Hearst Ventures, is always on the lookout for the next big thing, injecting capital into promising startups that could reshape industries. At the helm of this empire is William Randolph Hearst III, shining as chairman. But he's not alone. The boardroom is filled with legacy bearers like Lisa Hearst Hagerman, George Randolph Hearst III, and Virginia Hearst Rant, all descendants of the legendary William Randolph Hearst. Each wields influence over the dynasty's direction, yet the Hearst riches aren't just numbers on a screen, they're rooted in the earth itself. The Hearst own vast stretches of forests and timberland in California, with recent acquisitions adding even more acreage to their green belt. This land isn't just land, it's a renewable gold mine, contributing significantly to the Hearst net worth and ensuring a green yet golden legacy. With each passing generation, the Hearst not only preserves their heritage, but also expands it. Their story isn't just written in history books, it's written in the ledger of the future. Number 3, the Johnson family. The Johnson family of Fidelity Investments boasts a hefty net worth of $37 billion. They've crafted this colossal empire right in the heart of Massachusetts, under the watchful eye of old money. It all began with Edward C. Johnson II, not just your average Boston lawyer, but a true visionary. Back in 1946, he took a gamble on Fidelity Management and Research Company, and boy, did it pay off. By 1957, his son, Ned Johnson, joined the fray, and under his leadership, Fidelity didn't just grow, it exploded. From managing a modest $3.9 billion in assets in 1972, they skyrocketed to a mind-boggling $2.1 trillion by 2016. And that's not all. They've got an additional $5.7 trillion under administration. Ned turned Fidelity into a financial powerhouse. But don't think for a second that the Johnsons are confined to New England. Their financial influence stretches far and wide. They've snagged a hefty 40% chunk of Fidelity International, their globe-trotting cousins serving clients beyond North American shores. With a whopping $714 billion in assets, Fidelity International is just the tip of the iceberg. Their investment empire sprawls across various sectors. From real estate, where Pembroke Real Estate proudly flies the family flag, to telecommunications with Cult Group SA, they've got their fingers in many pies. They've even dipped their toes into the oil wells of Discovery Natural Resources and have a venture capital arm under 8 roads. The Johnsons' portfolio is more than just a collection of investments. It's a treasure trove of diverse riches. And at the helm of this financial behemoth stands Abigail Johnson, the CEO, president, and Fidelity's crown jewel shareholder. Under Abigail's guidance, Fidelity isn't just growing, it's flourishing, spreading its wings and boldly diving into the world of cryptocurrencies, offering investment opportunities for the daring. Abigail's brother, Edward C. Johnson IV, captains the ship of real estate with Pembroke Real Estate, while also holding a substantial stake in the Fidelity empire, along with investments in Fidelity International and Northern Neck Investors. Abigail herself boasts a personal fortune estimated at a jaw-dropping $22.6 billion, placing her among the wealthiest women globally. As for Edward IV, his treasure chest is filled with the fruits of a 7.5% stake in FMR, bolstered by the dispersal of their father's fortune. But the Johnsons aren't just accumulating wealth, they're carefully managing it. Through emprise management, they're nurturing about $13.4 billion in assets, with insider ownership echoing throughout, with the family holding the reins to 80% of this bounty. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Johnson, another member of the clan, reigns over a horse farm kingdom in Wellington, Florida, adding a touch of equestrian flair to the family's diverse interests. As Fidelity Investments continues to evolve, expand, and innovate in the world of finance, the Johnson family sails on, charting courses through diverse financial waters. Number 2, the Macmillan family. The Cargill-Macmillan family isn't just well off, they're financial royalty, boasting a whopping $56.2 billion fortune. With 14 billionaires among their ranks, they've set a record for the most ultra-wealthy family members in U.S. history. Their wealth stems from Cargill Inc., a titan in the agricultural business and the largest private corporation in the U.S. by revenue. It all began in 1865 when William Wallace Cargill, a visionary born to a Scottish sea captain, laid the foundation for what would become a colossal legacy. Starting with a modest grain storage business in Conover, Iowa, William capitalized on the agricultural boom of the Midwest. His knack for strategically managing grain storage facilities met the growing needs of farmers during America's frontier expansion. The wealth baton passed through 5 generations. Initially ignited by W. Cargill, it was then passed to his son-in-law, John H. Macmillan Sr., in 1909, introducing the Macmillan lineage into the enterprise. Under Macmillan's leadership, the company expanded its horizons, delving into flour milling, feed manufacturing, and various agricultural ventures. Despite being privately held, Cargill Incorporated's financial strength is undeniable, with revenue streams reaching into the billions. Every year, like clockwork, the Cargill-Macmillan family takes a cool 18% cut of Cargill Incorporated's profits as dividends, showcasing their significant presence in the agricultural colossus they've built. Within this wealthy family, a few individuals stand out, boasting hefty fortunes and deep ties to the company. James Cargill, Austin Cargill, and Marianne Liebman, great-grandchildren of William Wallace Cargill, each have fortunes of $5.4 billion. Alongside them, Pauline Kent and Gwendolyn Sometime Mears have also seen their fortunes grow in harmony with Cargill's success. In this dynasty, each member plays a role in dominating the agricultural business, from the fields of the Midwest to the executive boardrooms, shaping the future of food and finance. Number 1, Mars family. At the top of the list, we have the Mars family with a jaw-dropping net worth of $15.4 billion. Their wealth comes from the immense success of Mars Incorporated, a giant in the confectionery, pet care, and food industries. It all started with Franklin Clarence Mars, or Frank Sears as he's affectionately known. Back in the early 20th century, born in 1883, he began his journey into the confectionery world with the Nougat House in Tacoma, Washington in 1911. But it was the launch of the Milky Way bar in 1923 that really put the Mars name on the map. This chocolate delight not only satisfied sweet tooths, but also catapulted Mars Incorporated to the forefront of the candy industry. The 1920s were booming for the Mars family. The success of Milky Way, followed by other sweet legends like Snickers and M&M's, solidified Mars Incorporated's status as a confectionery titan. Frank's innovation in candy creation and marketing wizardry fueled the company's explosive growth and filled the family's coffers. This sweet legacy has been carefully preserved across 4 generations, from Frank Sears to his son, Forrest Edward Mars Sr., and down the lineage to Forrest's descendants. Forrest Edward was born in 1904, played a crucial role in taking the Mars empire global and diversifying into realms beyond candy, including pet care and other food arenas. The strategic expansion not only diversified the family's portfolio, but also solidified their financial dominance. Forrest Mars Sr.'s children, including Forrest Mars Jr., John Mars, and Jacqueline Mars, inherited this sugary empire and have been its guardians, steering Mars toward new horizons. The 3rd generation of the Mars family played a crucial role in ensuring the company's global success, blending traditional values with modern innovations. Jacqueline Mars, born in 1939 along with her brother John, inherited co-ownership of Mars. While they don't manage the day-to-day operations, their influence is undeniable. Jacqueline's philanthropic endeavors and patronage of the arts have earned her a place among the world's wealthiest individuals, with a fortune estimated at $23.6 billion. Her brother John, born in 1935, holds a similar fortune and has been honored with an honorary knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II. The legacy of Forrest Mars Jr., who passed away in 2016, lives on through his 4 daughters, Victoria, Valerie, Pamela, and Marek Mars. Each of them inherited an 8% stake in the family empire. Victoria and Pamela have left their marks on the company's governance, while Valerie and Marek remain actively involved in the business. Together, the 4 sisters command a collective net worth of $24 billion, symbolizing the enduring value and growth of Mars Incorporated. What are your thoughts on these richest families in America? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. And if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to give a thumb up and subscribe to the channel